Welcome students. You are watching Ashish Singhal #maths. In our series of class 10th, today we are going to start a very important chapter, quadratic equations. This is chapter number 4 for class 10th Ncert book. Now students, as you have already studied, what are quadratic polynomials? They are basically ax square plus bx plus c. But the most important condition along with it is a should not be equal to 0. b and c can be equal to 0, but a cannot be equal to 0. So this was quadratic polynomial. So what is a quadratic equation? This is basically ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is equal to 0 provided a is not equal to 0. So any quadratic equation is of the form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0. First of all, there will be questions of 1 mark where they will ask you whether the given equation is a quadratic equation or not. Two important things you have to remember. The first thing is none of the powers should be negative, none of the powers should be in fraction, and the highest power should be, that is the degree of this equation, should be 2. So two things you need to check. Number 1, degree. After simplifying, the degree has to be 2. Power cannot be more than 2. Secondly, you have to check that no power is in fraction or it is negative. So this will help you in finding out whether the given equation is quadratic or not. So students, in the first exercise 4.1, we have questions where we have to find out whether the given equation is quadratic or not. So let us see the first one. These are all 1 mark questions which you have to do within 5 to 10 seconds. Open this bracket, x plus 1 whole square. So this will become x square plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 2x minus 6. So 2x gets cancelled. So x square plus 7 is equal to 0. So this is a quadratic equation. Yes, this is a quadratic equation. The second one, x square minus 2x is equal to minus 2 into 3 minus x. Again, open the brackets. When you open the bracket, x square minus 2x is equal to minus 6 plus 2x. Bring the terms to the same side. X square minus 4x is equal to minus 6. This is a quadratic equation. Yes, this is a quadratic equation. Third one, x minus 2 into x plus 1 is equal to x minus 1 into x plus 3. When you open the brackets, you get x square plus x minus 2x minus 2. On this side, when you open the bracket, students, you get x square plus 3x minus x minus 3. X square gets cancelled on both sides. So this is minus x minus 2 and this is 2x minus 3. Bring them back to the left side. Minus 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. So this is not a quadratic equation because the degree of the equation has become 1. So this was our third part. Moving on to the fourth part, students. X minus 3 into 2x plus 1 is equal to x into x plus 5. Again, open the brackets. You get 2x square minus 6x plus x minus 3 is equal to x square plus 5x. Bring these terms to the left side. 2x square minus x square will become x square. Minus 6x plus x will give you minus 5x. And this plus 5x will also come out here. It will become minus 10x minus 3 is equal to 0. So this is a quadratic equation. So like this you can simplify all other parts. So let us do it hurriedly. The fifth one, 2x minus 1 into x minus 3 is equal to x plus 5 into x minus 1. So when you open the bracket you get 2x square minus 6x minus x plus 3 is equal to x square plus 5x minus x and minus 5. So 2x square minus x square will give you x square. This will give you minus 7x, and from here you will get 4x. So minus 11x plus 8 is equal to 0. So this is also a quadratic equation. So like this you can solve the other 2-3 parts which are left. Only you have to expand the bracket, and after expanding you have to find out whether the given equation is quadratic or not, that is its degree is 2 or not. Now we move on to question number 2. Represent the following situations in the form of quadratic equations. We have to represent them, we don't have to solve them. The area of a rectangular field is given as 528 meters square. The length of the plot is 1 more than twice its breadth. So students, we can see here, let breadth is equal to x. So length is equal to 1 more than twice its breadth, that is 2x plus 1. And area formula you know, length into breadth. So x into 2x plus 1 is equal to 528. Open this bracket, 2x square plus x minus 528 is equal to 0. So this is our required quadratic equation. Now moving on to the second part of this. The product of two consecutive positive integers is 306. Consecutive positive integers. If I take one of them as x, other becomes x plus 1. So it says the product. So x into x plus 1 will be 306. That's a very simple part. So let one number be x. So its consecutive number will be x plus 1. So we know that x into x plus 1 is equal to 306. We can open the bracket, so we get x square plus x minus 306 is equal to 0. So this is the required quadratic equation. Moving on to the third part of it. Rohan's mother is 26 years older than him. That means if Rohan age is x, mother's age is x plus 26. The product of their ages 3 years from now will be 360. We would like to find Rohan's present age. So students, we first take, let Rohan's age be x. Let Rohan's age be x. So mother's age, present age we are talking about, will be 26 plus x, because Rohan's mother is 26 years older than Rohan. Now after 3 years, as you all know, their ages will increase by 3. So Rohan's age will become x plus 3 and mother's age will become 26 plus x plus 3. That makes it 29 plus x. 26 plus x plus 3, that makes is 29 plus x. Now the product of their ages, product of these two ages, x plus 3 into 29 plus x is equal to 360. So student, just open the brackets and you will be able to get the equation. This will become 29x plus 29 into 3, 9 3s are 27, 2, 3 to the 6 plus 2, 87, plus x square plus 3x minus 360 is equal to 0. So that will become x square, 29 plus 3, that will give you 32x, minus 360 minus 87, 10 minus 3, 10 minus 7 is 3, and you will have here 15 minus 8, which will be 7 and 273. So x square plus 32x minus 273 is equal to 0. This is our required quadratic equation. You can see in all these questions we are getting quadratic equation. In the previous chapter we have been getting linear equation. So this is the only difference. The last part of this exercise: a train travels a distance of 480 km at a uniform speed. If the speed had been 8 km per hour less, it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. We need to find the speed of the train. See students, since they are talking about time, again as discussed earlier also, speed is equal to distance upon time. So this is the formula we need to use in these questions. So we say let usual speed of train be x and it is traveling 480 km. So time taken for 480 km will be 480 upon x. Now if the speed is 8 km per hour less, so new speed is 8 km per hour less, that is x minus 8. So new time is 480 upon x minus 8. Earlier it was 480 upon x and 480 upon x minus 8. Now what happens? The difference of these two time, they are saying it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the distance. Earlier it is going with this time, now it is going with this time. The difference of both of them, 480 upon x minus 480 upon x minus 8. See, the student, we have to see which time will be more. When the speed is less, time will be more. So this time is more. So either you write down 480 upon x minus 8 minus 480 upon x, or if you write like this, then this is equal to minus 3. Keep in mind that whenever the denominator is less, that value is more. So here we take 480 common. We can take the LCM, x square minus 8x, and this will become x minus 8 minus x is equal to minus 3. So x and x gets cancelled. With 3 we can cancel 480. 3 1s are 3, 3 6s are 18 and 0. And we cross multiply this thing. When you cross multiply, you will get minus x square minus 8x is equal to 160 into minus 8. The minus 8 has come from here. So this minus gets cancelled, and ultimately our quadratic equation will be x square minus 8x. We multiply this, 6 8 zeros are 0, 8 6 are 48, 4 8 1s are 8 plus 4 12. So we get x square minus 8x minus 1280 is equal to 0. So this is the quadratic equation of this question. Now students, this is just initial exercise where we have been talking about the equations. Now we move on to solution of quadratic equation. Now here we are going to talk about factorization, but we can solve a quadratic equation with different methods. We are going to study firstly factorization, secondly by methods of completing squares, and thirdly using quadratic formula. So these are different exercises we are going to study: factorization, completing squares, and quadratic formula. As you all have been doing the splitting of middle term, the same splitting of middle term will be used here to solve the question using factorization method. Now see here, find the roots or zeros or solution. The three of them means the same thing. So here we are going to talk about x square minus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. Whenever you have a negative sign here and the product is also negative, then it means that the two terms which we are going to split, the bigger term will have minus sign and the smallest term will have positive sign. So it will be x square minus 5x plus 2x minus 10 is equal to 0. Take x common, x minus 5. Take 2 common, x minus 5 is equal to 0. So we have x plus 2 into x minus 5 is equal to 0. So the roots are minus 2 and 5. So minus 2 and 5 are the roots of this quadratic equation. The second one, 2x square plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Here the middle term is positive, but the product of the first and the last term is negative. That shows that the term which we are splitting, the smaller one will have the negative sign and the bigger one will have a positive sign. So students, here will have 4x minus 3x minus 6 because the sum is x. So we take 2x common, so we get x plus 2. Here we take minus 3 common, x plus 2 is equal to 0. So 2x minus 3 into x plus 2 is equal to 0. So this gives us x is equal to 3 by 2 or minus 2. So these two are the roots of this quadratic equation. The third one, root 2x square plus 7x plus 5 root 2 is equal to 0. So what is the product? Product is root 2 into 5 root 2. That gives you 10. That gives you 10. And the sum required is 7. So we can take 5 and 2. So root 2x square plus 5x plus 2x plus 5 root 2 is equal to 0. Now we can take common. We will take x common. So we will have root 2x plus 5. From here we can take root 2 common because 2 has got factors, root 2 into root 2. So we will have root 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. So x plus root 2 and root 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. So students, we have got two roots. One is minus root 2, another one is minus 5 upon root 2. So you can see here how we are splitting up the middle term and factorizing it and getting the roots. The fourth part is 2x square minus x plus 1 by 8 is equal to 0. There are two methods. Either you split like this or you take LCM and then you split. So it's better to take LCM. If you take LCM, this will become 16x square minus 8x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now 16. Think about terms. So we have 4 and 4. So we have got 16x square minus 4x plus 1 equal to 0. We take 4x common from here. So we get 4x minus 1. Over here we take minus 1 common. So we get 4x minus 1 over here. So the factors are 4x minus 1 into 4x minus 1 is equal to 0. So this shows that the roots are 1 by 4 or 1 by 4. So students, we have got two roots, 1 by 4 and 1 by 4. Now moving on to the fifth part of this question. The fifth part says 100x square minus 20x plus 1 is equal to 0. How do we split 100 to get the sum as minus 20? So we can think about different terms. Suppose you are not able to do it. I will tell you how to do that also. You take 100 over here because 100 into 1 is 100. Factorize it with 250. 2 will give you 25, 5 and 5. So we have got 5. So these are the four numbers out of which we have to make. So we can see minus 10 and minus 10. So 100x square minus 10x plus 1 is equal to 0. So whenever you feel difficulty, you can always solve like this. So here we take 10x common and here we take minus 1 common. So we will be able to get 10x minus 1 into 10x minus 1 is 0. So x value is 1 by 10 or 1 by 10. So we are getting the same value for it. Now question number 2 is just solving the problem given in example 1, students, so that you can try yourself. Moving on to the question number 3. Find two numbers whose sum is 27 and the product is 182. So we say let one number be x and the other number, because it's saying sum of the numbers, other number will be 27 minus x. Their product is given as 182. So x into 27 minus x gives you 182. We open the bracket, 27x minus x square is equal to 182. So now simplifying it further, we get minus x square plus 27x minus 182 is equal to 0. We multiply with minus 1, x square minus 27x plus 182 is equal to 0. If you find out the factors of 182, students, you will get 91. Then you do with 7. So 13 sevens are. So 14 and 13 are the two factors. So we write x square minus 14x minus 13x plus 182 is equal to 0. Take x common. So x minus 14. From here you take minus 13 common. So we get x minus 14 is equal to 0. So x minus 13 into x minus 14 gives us 0. So either x is 13 or x is 14. So if x is 13, then the other number is 27 minus 13, which is 14. Or if x is 14, then the other number will be 27 minus 14, which is 13. So the two numbers are 13 and 14. So this is the way we need to solve question number 3. Now moving on to question number 4, students. Find two consecutive positive integers, sum of whose squares is 365. The difference is that here they are talking about squares. So let one number be x. So other consecutive number will be x plus 1. So we can write here consecutive number. Now they are talking about the sum of their squares. So x square plus x plus 1 square is equal to 365. Now students, let us open the brackets. X square plus 2x plus 1 minus 365 is equal to 0. 2x square plus 2x minus 364 is equal to 0. Divide by 2, so you get x square plus x minus 182 is equal to 0. Again, the factors, like the previous question, the factors will be 14 and 13, but the difference will be the positive and the negative sign. Here, bigger number will be positive and the smaller number will be negative. So here we take x common, so we get x plus 14. Here we take minus 13 common, so x plus 14 is equal to 0. X plus 14 and x minus 13 are the two factors. Equating them to 0, we get minus 14 or 13. But since the question was asking about two consecutive positive integers, so x is equal to minus 14 is rejected. And the answer is two consecutive numbers will be 13 and 13 plus 1, which is 14. So this is the way we need to solve question number 4. Now moving on to question number 5. The altitude of a right triangle is 7 centimeter less than its base. If the hypotenuse is 13 centimeter, find the other two sides. Now students, you can see here, for your explanation, I will draw a right angle triangle where the hypotenuse is given as 13. Altitude of a right triangle is 7 less than its base. If I take the base as x, then the altitude will become x minus 7. So we write here, let base is equal to x. So altitude will be x minus 7. using Pythagoras theorem. You all know Pythagoras theorem, that hypotenuse square is equal to sum of the squares of the base and the perpendicular. So we get 13 square is equal to x minus 7 square plus x square. Open the bracket. 169 is equal to x square minus 14x plus 49 plus x square. Let us bring all the terms to the same side. So this will become 2x square minus 14x. 169 goes to this side, it will become minus 120 is equal to 0. We divide all the terms by 2, so we get x square minus 7x minus 60 is equal to 0. So 12 5s is 60, so we write x square minus 12x plus 5x minus 60 is equal to 0. Let's take x common, x minus 10, 5 common, x minus 12 is equal to 0. Now solving on the side, we get x plus 5 into x minus 12 is equal to 0. X is minus 5, which will be rejected because the side cannot be negative. The answer is x is 12. So student, the base is 12 and the altitude will be 12 minus 7, which is 5. So we have got that the base is 12, altitude is 5. This is all the way we have to solve this kind of question. So keep watching Ashish Singhal #maths, and we will see you in the next episode where we will be taking up the different methods of solving quadratic equation. Thank you.